Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you this morning. I want to start with just a quick introduction of your school safety team here at the department. It's myself and our senior school safety specialist, Ryan Stewart. Many of you know Ryan. He's been with the department for a long time. Myself, less so, but we are still dedicated to providing you all of the answers and resources that you need for your school safety needs. First, I really wanted to start with observations from the legislatively mandated audits that occurred this past school year and touch base on what some of those are. First, we saw in our drills that we want to make sure that all of our fire drills are being done at the appropriate times of the school year. The first fire drill must occur within the first 10 days of the school year. What we saw was not that schools weren't doing their fire drills, it's that they were occurring, the first one was occurring at 11 days or 12 days. What we really need to do is shift that into the first 10 days so that we can meet the statute. Secondly, coming up new this school year, House Enrolled Act 1004 will now require schools to complete an active shooter drill within the first 90 days of the school year. As you start to look through those and plan those out, feel free to reach out to our office. We could be able to help you plan those and see what those will look like as we go forward. Next, staff and student training. We want to ensure that all of those dates are being recorded. The staff and student training is another element within the school safety plan statute that you need to record those dates and you need to have those dates. What we really recommend as a best practice is to keep that information with your drill logs. So that way when you are asked for it, if we come back through and need to do another audit of those plans, that way all of that information will be together and we're not having to pull it from a lot of different locations as well. Another observation were the provisions for disabilities. Again, we saw that schools were doing these, they just weren't being incorporated within the school safety plan. They were being done at the individual student or the individual staff person's level. So what we really want to make sure that we're doing is incorporating this into the school safety plan in case that person who needs assistance is not directly with the person who's helping take care of them, so that way anybody can know what those procedures and those policies are as well. Lastly, the nuclear and chemical plans. These are required within statute. We help those schools that maybe didn't have complete information here. We help bring those up to par. We do have language examples, and we can work with you on those as well. But it is required to have provisions in your school safety plan for these hazards. So those are kind of the high-level observations that we saw coming out of those audits. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our school safety training. Our school safety specialist training, as many of you know, is funded at no cost to our participants. This year, with our newest basic training, that Group 20, we had 740 new participants through the School Safety Specialist Academy. Our next opportunity to attend the School Safety Academy will be November 11th and 12th, with the third and final day occurring on February 17th. In between those two sets of dates, we do have an online training component. It's a week's worth equivalent of training, but we really only want to pull you guys out of your school buildings as little as possible, but we do need you here for those 3 days. And then in order to maintain the certification, you do need to attend 2 days of training per school year. So we offer that through our advanced training and our regional trainings. Currently, we have over 3,000 certified school safety specialists, and our next advanced academy is September 30th and October 1st. We have registration open. It's available. You can sign up now to attend that as well. We also offer regional trainings, usually another 15 to 20 dates around the state every year. Those trainings average about 100 participants per training. Our advanced training is closed to certified school safety specialists only. Our regional trainings, we open those up to any school personnel, whether you are a certified school safety specialist or not, and that has allowed us to reach, on average, an additional 2,000 individuals across the state who may not be certified school safety specialists, but they're able to come in and receive our training as well. We also wanted to provide you a little bit of heads up on some of the specific legislation and upcoming unique training developments that we have coming out. House Enrolled Act 1063, school safety equipment, also known as the Stop the Bleed bill. This bill will allow schools to receive donated Stop the Bleed kits. They are going to put kits in every school building and every charter school building across the state. If you do receive those donated kits, you are required to have at least 5 people in that building trained on the use of those kits and how to apply the tourniquets as well. And that will go into effect July of 2020. School bus safety. Mike Laraco, our school transportation director, gave me a little bit of information on this to be able to share with you guys as well. Black reflective tape will be required on all school buses, and the district choice on the location and length and width of the tapes. This will be retroactive to all school buses. There were also adjustments made to where school buses can stop on U.S. and state routes and how students can board those buses and to not cross those roads unless it is no other safe alternative. Special purpose bus does not have a working stop arm and overhead warning lights, and those students cannot be loaded or unloaded on the roadway or a private road. And the driver of a special purpose bus that has a capacity that is less than 16 passenger that is transporting preschool students under the circumstances would have to meet all of the requirements of a school bus driver with the exception of holding a CDL license. And then we'll also require school districts, charter schools, and accredited non-public schools by September 1st of each year beginning in 2019 to review the schools, school bus routes, and school bus safety policies to improve the safety of students and adults. Another really fun program that we are working on developing and getting out and making available to schools this fall are new modules, training modules that we've developed and are in the process of developing for teacher prep programs and new school teachers. These modules will be hosted on the IDOE website or on Moodle. And what they're designed to do is really give new teachers a high-level overview of what school safety in Indiana looks like. We're talking about the legislatively required school safety plans, what all those incorporate, and then we're also talking about things to look out for, how to report issues, how to take the initiative in school safety from any level and any role in the buildings to make that school building a safer place. And we're hoping to have those out in the fall of 2019. Another bill that is coming out that we are working on crafting is House Enrolled Act 1224. This is the Intergenerational Safety Pilot Project. This bill will allow the department to issue 3 grants of up to $75,000 for a 2-year pilot project, which will allow school corporations to select 16 volunteers per corporation to put volunteers aged 55 and older into school buildings to help mentor youth, keep an eye out for school safety issues, and other things related to school safety around there. What we're working on doing now is setting up that application procedure, and we're also going to start putting out resources available to volunteer management plans and particularly those what's defined as those aging volunteers, so how you can best incorporate those within your school as well. Some new information that came to us in the middle part of this week regarding the Secured School Safety Grant. This morning in Sam's and Pam's, we sent out information asking you to get set up as the system administration form within the new IntelliGrant system. This will need to be done by noon on June 24th in order to be set up and enrolled for the school safety grants. And again, if you check your Sam's and Pam's, they will have the step-by-step instructions that IDHS has provided to help you get set up and established into that system. Some additional changes to that Secured School Safety Grant. School resource officers used to be able to be funded through the Secured School Safety Grant and the Criminal Justice Safe Havens Grant. All of that SRO funding has now shifted to only the Secured School Safety Grant through the Indiana Department of Homeland Security. In addition to that, they will now fund positions that do not have the school resource officer designation. So you are able to use this funding now to provide law enforcement presence in your schools without that designation. Senate Enrolled Act 325 also allowed for the student parent support programs to be have funding available to help set up those programs through the Secured School Safety Grant, and also will now allow for the active event warning systems to be established within those schools as well. This is a pie chart of how where our certified school safety specialists work within schools or school corporations. One thing that I did want to point out is that 2% of all of our certified school safety specialists are superintendents. What's really interesting about that number is that real number is 66 superintendents as of our last count, are certified school safety specialists, which puts us somewhere between 20 and 25% of all superintendents in the state are certified school safety specialists. And I think that's an incredible number, and I really, really appreciate the support that we have from the top down on school safety in our schools across the state. So thank you very much. All public school corporations are required to have at least one certified school safety specialist. At the end of the school year, around this time of year, the end of June, beginning of July, we review all of our certified school safety specialists, ensure that everyone has met their 2 days of training. If your school corporation has had one specialist traditionally and they lapse, we will reach out to that school corporation and work with you on how we can recertify and get that certification back up into good standing. As we've reached that 3,120 mark, and we're going to start seeing more pictures of how many specialists we average across corporations, we want to really look at trying to see what we can do to put one certified school safety specialist per building for all school corporations in the state. We can do this through our Advanced Academy and also leveraging our regional training dates that we provide across the state in order to ensure that everyone can have a certified school safety specialist in their building if they choose. So when we look at this slide, we can see that the 17.6 number is the one safety specialist per corporation. Working clockwise around, you can see that the 2 to 5 safety specialists and the 6 to 10 safety specialists make up a vast majority of our school corporations around the state. What we want to do is see this number grow as best we can. We want to have, again, one certified school safety specialist per corporation in the state, and we're going to be able to accommodate that through leveraging all of our training opportunities around the state. This is an example of what you will find on our website. So if you look over on the left-hand side there, you'll see our training. All of our training can be found here, our advanced level training, basic training, and regional training. If you click on these links, it'll take you to the registration pages. If it's following an event, you'll be able to find all of our resources, handouts, PowerPoint presentations from those trainings will all be posted there for you to access again. And then on the right, you can see a list of additional resources that we have available at all times. And then our certified school safety specialists through Moodle have access to more password-protected licensed resources. These include examples of school safety plans and other technical guidance information as well. Through our office, we also conduct school safety reviews. These are conducted by IDOE staff. We will travel to your school and we will review not only the legal requirements of the school safety plan, but we'll take a deep dive into what those best practices are. We will explore safety concerns that are unique to that specific school and that specific community. We have the requirements that are spelled out in statute on what a school safety plan needs to have, but how can you best adopt those to your community, and that's where we're going to be able to come in and help you with that. We can also help you make connections between schools. We're able to visit between 50 to 60 schools per year and review school safety plans. And with the Academy having been running now for 20 years, we're able to pull best practices from other schools and put you in contact with those schools, figure out what worked for them and how they were able to implement those changes and those adjustments into their programs as well. So what's coming up next? As you all know, we're in the middle of a national and state level evolution on school safety. There's more focus, more money, more attention being put on school safety across the country. More research is being conducted, best practices are being developed, and we are always looking to improve our training and guidance to Indiana schools based on new trends and practices. What we do through the Academy is we try to bring together national level expertise into the Academy to train our schools, but then we also look around the state and see what's being done well and collaborate and bring those areas together to be able to provide the best service we can. Through the Academy, what we really want to see going forward are the inclusion of more staff positions as certified school safety specialists, including administrative assistants and front office staff, custodial staff, food service staff, and school nurses. These folks are in every school building, they're around. We want to make sure that they are part of the school safety planning process. All of our school safety specialists should be encouraged to be a part of their school safety planning team. Our plans are living documents. They need to be reviewed, they need to be updated, changes need to be incorporated in them as the environment and your school populations change. They need to be updated regularly with all stakeholders. And inviting new staff and more staff, they need to be brought to the table. There's expertise, there's subject matter experts that can provide input into the school safety planning process. Additionally, we recognize the importance of not only taking care of our physical buildings and our students, but part of taking care of our students is going to be the inclusion and the incorporation of social emotional learning and behavioral wellness as elements of the school safety planning process. Comprehensive school safety planning will require a cross-functional approach, will require us to reach out to other entities within the IDOE and other state agencies to help provide these services. IDOE provides resources and experts to support best practices. Through the Academy and through our regional trainings, we will also work to include training and guidance on Indiana's new SEL competencies and toolkits, tools to assess students' social and emotional competencies and school culture and climate. We will work to provide experts on trauma-responsive practices, bullying, substance abuse, and suicide prevention, and then also work to leverage our project-aware case studies on effective collaboration between mental health and school safety specialists. I like to look at it as here on the bottom with the student well-being continuum. In the middle, we have school safety and SEL supports. What we can work to do with the SEL and the behavioral wellness is on the prevention and recovery piece of school safety emergencies. So if we could build a more resilient community and we have a bad day, we have an incident in our school buildings, then we have a more resilient community that can help us recover from these incidents. So thank you for your time, and I really appreciate that. My contact information is up here. You can find more information on our website, and I'll be out in the hallway all day, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask.